So what I'm suggesting here, frankly, is a campaign to address this issue of mental health and get a grassroots swelling, a movement to end this horse shit. And I've come up with a campaign that speaks directly to that, as you saw with my anti-bully art, the passive-aggressive, and I have about a dozen of those that I'll demonstrate later. But let's talk about how we can get people involved in this. As I mentioned, I'm reaching out to some of the best and the brightest. I think if this campaign is adopted in various businesses, it can reach people in a way that other more uptight, we're American and we have a puritanical background. And I think the comedy and the lightheartedness of this has a great application to prevent further damage, help people and profits by preventing lawsuits, and make life better for many through the application of this artwork. And I believe this artwork speaks to who we are as a nation, because we stand up for what's right. We don't tolerate horseshit, you know. Don't tread on me is one of the themes. With colonialism didn't sit well with us. We didn't go for that, and we have a history of doing what's right. And you know, in that regard, I've come up with this piece here. It's going to be tough to focus on, but it's another propaganda poster, America calling for civil defense, and I wrote civility defense. The idea that you take your place in civility defense, in the defense of civility, and in doing so, and I will show some methodologies for doing that. These are the themes of the American experience, you know, that the immigrant story, that we make the journey to America not in a Chris craft, but in a crappy kind of canoe I wouldn't put my cat on in a creek. And you can see a real tight close-up of the crazy cat and the Chris Craft image of that little poem. And these are people, this is what makes America a country of freedoms that we have endured much, and that consequently we don't put up with horseshit. I've come up with a little thing that I'll let you read in the book later, but it's, you know, a spoof on the ideas from not being cocksuckers, you know, in a small part of the galaxy. You know, the Concordia, he behaved like a cocksucker. He wasn't a captain. Sully was a captain. And the difference in these actions are whether or not they are involved in detrimental cocksucking. And to that end, I've come up with this logo, and we'll explain it to you, so that you figure it out, because I think this is a very important thing that you hat up and stand up. You can see the rooster image, also known as a cock. Business, sans, without, cock, suckers. So it's a little tasteful pun there, and the idea is you have the tape here to reflect on that idea. And I think that if people, and I've given these to many people to wear and respond to my website and send a selfie, say, you know what, yeah, we don't want to do business. We want to do business, but we want to do business without cock suckers. And of course that refers to both the act of fellatio and the idea of a guy acting or a gal acting like a douchebag. So it would be redundant to say business without cock sucking or suckers, because that's implicit. And I think it's a good image, and you see, it opens a dialogue. We got to talk about this stuff, and we got to have it paramount. And Andy Lack, with the way he handled it, he as a pot, you know, he kicked rudder and did some extreme actions. So well, I hope this is a little more lighthearted approach, and here I speak of just how we're going to do that with my response to you can help ensure a favorable outcome for America. It's great to it's the great experiment that's counting on you too. Now that's a little pun, because you too can make a difference. And I go on to say, you know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist or a rock star to make a difference. You know, but you can say that we don't tolerate this, and I think we need somebody, as Ridley said in The Last Jedi, I need somebody to show me my place in all this. Well, relax. I'm Mark Thorkelson, and I think this anti-bully art will show you your place in all this, and a way to stand up for what we believe in: truth, justice, the American way. In that regard, you know, U2 is on this theme, and I have an interactive movie that I'll mention briefly that I think they could participate in. And these are some methodologies for handling cocksuckers. Rules for handling cyberbullies, mental health hazards. Rule number 1, the bully will get away with whatever they can, so call them out right away. What did you mean by that? Excuse me? You know, there's a lot of innuendo and a lot of, the bully will make these kind of sneaky attacks. So you, when you hear it, you should address it right away so as to let them know that they can't get away with that. Number 2, you don't appease a bully, or they'll escalate. The bully knows, you know, what's going on with their hurtful giant mind tricks. Just let them know you won't have it. Describe and decline the bully's hurtful action. You know, you say that's a passive. Now you see the fact that I've shown you a passive aggressive. You can say, yeah, I'm familiar with that. I've seen that in Mark Thorkelson's artwork. You know what, dude? You're pulling a passive aggressive thing. I don't like it, and I won't have it. So you let them know what's going on. Once you've called them out, you can shame them. You can say, you know, that incivility seems beneath you. And this is a tip when you can get a close up with a horse guy here, because this is the kind of thing I don't like at all. The blind eye game, and I've seen that so many times, and I'll show you that because that reeks of what we call a rigged system, and I've seen that so many times, and that's the first step in this kind of horseshit is they'll get away with whatever they can because they're so used to abusing their power from the system. And I think I should speak of that next, so let's get through this. You know, don't let them say, oh, I didn't mean that. Don't let them try and retract their statement. It's like a shot. It's like the sped arrow, you can't take it back. And I was like, oh, I didn't mean it. I said, you said it, and it hurt my feelings, and you can't take it back, so don't let them try and retract their statement. You know, I mean, you're laughing, but I'm not. Not funny to me, because that's the other little trick these guys do is try and laugh it off. Well, it's not funny. And you see what happens is, often with these mental health issues, as I've experienced personally, a degree of resentment. You may not be in the moment to catch that, and what it'll do is it'll fester. It'll grow in you. And all of a sudden you'll be like, whoa, that doesn't sit well with me. And of course it's too late, and that's what these people are good at. That's a kind of a sneak attack. So anyway, let them know it didn't sit well with me. We're not laughing off. Give them the cross-examination. Say I find it insulting and degrading, and then call them out. And you know, and that way you don't make yourself an easy target. You know, if you look at this, here's a situation. George Clooney in the Monuments Men film. You know, and here there's a German officer who's so indoctrinated in the Nazi system that he's spilling the filth of anti-Semitism, and George Clooney won't have that at all. He said, oh, no, that doesn't sit well with me, and he calls him out on that, and that's what you have to do, and you have to take a proactive approach and say, no, you're in deep shit if you keep that up. You know, I had a situation, fucking unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. And I'll tell you about how the rigged system works after this take, because this is a good place to end this. But I had a son of a bitch, and I put up with this as a child with dyslexia, with teachers and students bullying me, getting it from both ends. But recently I had someone say, you know what, we're just trying to weasel. You're faking dyslexia. I was like, excuse me. You know? But when people are indoctrinated into this rigged system of which I'll speak, the filth just spews from their mouth. So let's talk about the rigged system next. Thank you.